Hello everyone, AC Khoomei here, and today I am going to tell you the story of how I fell in love with Khoomei, throat singing, and maybe show you all some demonstrations of the throat singing styles that I know. So, it all began in 2019, 2020, like around that time when I was like 12 or 13, somewhere around that era. I think I remember now. It's 2020, so I was 13, and COVID shut down. 2 weeks, spring break turned into 2 months, this, that, and the third, and I got done with my homework one day, and I decided just to go look up different music from around the world, and it was showing different music from North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia. But the one that inspired me the most was Mongolia. And it was a song called Chinggis Khan Mathkal, which means in praise of the great Chinggis Khan, or Genghis Khan as we Westerners call him. The song was originally written by Batsuri Gvanchig, which so happens to be one of my favorite artists that I listen to. Nowadays, if you were to ask me, who's your favorite artist? And I say Batsuri Gvanchig, you're like, who in the hell is he? He is one of the greatest Mongolian throat singers out there. He made that song, The Great Praise of Genghis Khan, and it got over like 50 million views, I think. And this was like 10 or 11 years ago. He was just minding his own business, playing his moringhur, horsehead fiddle, and just singing to his full heart's full content on the mountain. And I got lost. I was captivated. Like, how could he make those low notes? Harkira, kakira. Let me see if I could try to replicate. Basically, you get the point. I'm like, how can a man... Excuse me. How can a human being make noises like that? How could he go that low? And I just got so captivated. I was engrossed with Batsuri Gvanchig's content. I just started watching more of him, watching more, and my interest in Mongolia's culture and throat singing just grew and grew. It's about as big as the Mongol Empire itself. And then I listened to a band that he is part of. It's called Husugtun, which means like cart, like driving carts or whatever. Husug plus tun. And it consists of, I don't know how many males, but it has a female singer, but she doesn't do Khoomei. She just like regular traditional like Mongolian singing, and she plays the yatga, which is like, think of a hammered dulcimer, but it's like a zither. It's like similar to like the guzheng or kuchin of China and the koto of Japan. So I got interested in that band, and then I found out there was a Mongolian metal rock band called The Who. We are The Who! Senbetsanu. Yeah. It's pretty cool. They actually did popular metal covers from Alice in Chains and Metallica. Sad but True has to be one of my favorite ones, especially when they did the guitar solo with the molding chord. It's so wicked. That is just so awesome. And at that point, it just made me want to learn like that even more, like Khoomei and everything's like that. And then at some point, a couple of years down the line, like 2022, 2023, like I found Tuva existed. And like, where the hell is Tuva? Tuva is a small region of the Russian Federation. It's a little region just sitting at the southernmost, like southwest most part of Russia. It's by Western Mongolia. It's just sitting there. And Tuvans are not Russians, and Tuvans are not Mongolians. They're Tuvans. They're their own set of people with their own set of religion and set of traditional singing styles. But if you think about it, if you ever listen to Tuvan and Mongolian, Khoomei, they almost sound like the exact same, but they're different. Pretty sure if you were to tell a Mongolian and a Tuvan that, hey, the way you guys sing is pretty much alike, they'll be like, we beg to differ. So then I got into some Tuvan bands. For instance, Atlash Ensemble with Ayan Ulsam, Ayan Kajertik, and Badi Dorju Ondar. Forgive me, I'm pronouncing these names wrong. I'm only just started learning Tuvan not too long ago. And what's funny is their manager is actually from the States. His name is Sean Quirk, and he was born and raised in Wisconsin, so he's a Wisconsin man. And then he fell in love with Tuva so much that he studied the language, studied throat singing, and now he is married to a Tuvan woman from there. He has a Tuvan wife, and I believe they have kids. So you see how music is so universal that it can bond, it can connect people, and they can make like extraordinary bonds because of that. So, yeah. So other Tuvan bands I listen to besides Atlash is Hurtu. Like every time I see them I watch their live like shows, like if they perform in the States or anything. It's like they always start out with this like prayer chant, which is called Murgul, which literally means prayer. Let me see how it goes. Yeah, always how they start their shows, and they like do like different things. It's pretty cool. What else? There's Oldutsu, which is a band that came out like not too long ago. They're trying to fuse more like modern styles of music and make it like with traditional Tuvan instruments, like the bazanshi, the iji, the dupshulur. It's kind of like the sounding like instruments close to Mongolian, like the tovshur, the morinkur, and everything else. And in both countries, women are starting to perform this art. In Mongolia, like there's more women who are practicing this, and I have watched Mongolian women take the stage and own the stage of learning an art that is predominantly performed by men. Same thing with the Tuvans. There is a all-female throat singing group, one and only female throat singing group led by Chodra Tumat, and it's called Tuva Kidzi, which means the daughters of Tuva in Tuvan. They have been a thing since 1998, and they have inspired many women and girls in around Tuva and maybe even in parts of the rest of Central Asia and around the world to say like, hey, if guys can do Khoomei, then we can do Khoomei too, which actually kind of inspired me to start my Khoomei journey. Like I said, I've been fond of like Khoomei, Mongolian, and Tuvan throat singing since I was 12, 13 or so, and then I only really started practicing Khoomei in both Mongolian and Tuvan style when I was 16, and I'm 18 now, so about almost 2 years, and I feel like I've gotten the styles down, kind of. Let me see if I can try to do Khoomei, Sigat, and Kagura, and whatever the corresponding names for the Mongolian is. So here's Khoomei. I don't know if I got into like Sugat territory there. Khoomei is basically the base and the fundamental of all Khoomei styles. And then you have Sugat. Sugat in Tuvan literally just means to whistle. Now, my whistling is not bad, but I could improve it a little bit better. I need to improve more on my breath control and where I'm positioning your mouth. It's literally, Khoomei is basically literally just like person just using like their throat, their mouth, their lips, their tongue, everything, all that to shift and produce 2, 3, maybe even 4 notes at the same time. Harmonics. So let me see if I can try sing it out. Let me see. See, I just lost my breath there. That means I am not ready for the Khoomei stage yet. And last but not least, it's Kagura. So, Kagura is the lowest of the styles. It resembles like earth and like structure. Let me show you how it sounds like. There we go. Good Lord. That's how you know I'm not doing it properly, if I'm breathing the wrong way and I'm coughing a lot. But hey, I'm not no master. I've been doing this for 2 years, and there's people who have been doing this for 2 decades or longer. See, like my favorite idols are like Batsurik Vanchik, the members of the Who band, the members of Tuva Kidzi, Alash, Odotshu, Hunhurtu, and just all these different bands. They've been probably performing since like childhood, like adolescence, like teenage years, or even like early adulthood or whatever. They're just really good at it, and I want to pursue that too. I I do want to go to Tuva at some point, but the thing is with like Russia, and since like Tuva is a part of Russia, and Russia is having things going on in there right now. It's little disputes with another country, and I don't think it's safe at the moment. I know it's not safe at the moment. But Mongolians are pretty hospitable. Same thing with the Tuvans. They're nice, kind people. It seems like Mongolia is easier to get into. I've done my travel research. Mongolia is a little bit easier to get to, and you can go up and stay in the country for 90 days, like without a visa. I don't plan to stay there that long. I probably want to stay there like during like July when Nadam, which is the 3 games of men festival, wrestling, archery, and horseback riding, when that happens. So, yeah, I want to become a successful Tuvan/Mongolian throat singer to be the next American to make it big in those 2 regions. And I'm not like the first black Afro like Latina or first or next like African Latina to perform on stage. Because like I said, it's like music doesn't have a race. Music is universal and it connects people. You can have someone you can have some like southern guy like in traditional like Mongolian or Tuvan throat singing, and you can probably have someone from Tuva and Mongolia listening to like Leonard Skinner, Southern rock. So hey, you really never know. Anyways, this is my journey so far and the story time of how I fell in love with Khoomei and how I want to make that my dream someday. I did not mean to yap for this long, ramble on and on and on, but I guess I just had a lot to say on my mind. But hey, thank you guys for staying this long, and if you've stayed this long, comment if you know anything about Mongolia or Tuva, and if you want me to demonstrate more Khoomei to any of you guys, I'll gladly take requests and anything like that. And like I said, I appreciate y'all for supporting me, and thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.